everybody. And I'm very glad to be here as a speaker back to Julian and I had a reunion last night, and 36 years later, he gave a lot of material from the latest philosophy. And I'm going to tell you about the only one philosophy I learned from Ricketts. And almost 20 years ago, I took a TMG course at Texas. And he studied use biotemplate. It looks like a biotemplate. Looks like just like a resin template. So I asked him, is that a regular template? So, but he said, no, this is not a template. You should call this a biotemplate. So then also he mentioned that lastly, the most important purpose for dentistry, clinical dentistry, and not only for orthodontics, is before we going into the treatment of alignment teeth, we should clean up the inguinal. Of course, I didn't know nothing about the meaning in inguinal. So after that course, I started to think about the real meaning of clean up the meaning, clean up the inguinal in dentistry and orthodontics. So maybe after 2-3 years ago, I met a very nice theory of proprioceptive neuromuscular facilitation. I think you want to speak by the microphone. Okay, yeah, thank you. Well, thank you very much. This is not a new one. This has been used many years, I think it's over 50 years, by normal physician. And right now, the new style or new material is material or mini implant or method of non-extraction or extraction. Everything is going to be a non-extraction or 3D, CT, or new material, new machine. But is that really new? I don't think it's new, but it doesn't mean it's really new. This is very old cephalometrics tracing. This is Japanese or English version of orthodontic waves. And this guy took orthodontic, just like ABO, just like ABO in Japan. And then here's the trace for the aborted case. And he studied that the upper first molar stated that the upper molar were moved distally using by the combination headgear and a K-loop. I don't know what the K-loop is. But this tracing, this is T1, T2 tracing. And the dotted line is after the treatment, T2. Has already moved mesial. And this is also a tracing of both case, tracing of the soft tissue and hard tissue, such as in the airway, like the airway, nasal or nasal cavity, and the highway colon, the cervical or vertebra, essentially should be provided here to accurately determine the outcome of this, figure. There's no tracing here. This tracing, this is the hard tissue, such as mastoid process, and upon condyle head, and the coronary process, and some soft tissue, nasal cavity, soft palate, and adenoid tissue are not shown. These, tracing right now doing in. This is the AJRDO board case, 2002. So, large ear rod masks are important and autonomical points, posterior border mandible, largely shifted to both sides on the head, but the same result is not shown on the trace. This is the original tracing. This is that I took this separate of the tracing from AJRDO. And this is also a board case of AJRDO 2004. Look at this area. There's no continuous. There is a continuous line from the occipital bone to the posterior arch of the atlas, but there is no trace of the complete sensor vertebra. So can you see it? So this is the one of the ideal tracing done by Kunihiko Miyashita. He is teaching here in the U.S. 5 or 6 orthodontic schools. So I think even if right now we have a lot of new tools or new machines, but still I think orthodontics and drifting all over the world. Why are the teeth positioned in such a way? I took this picture from the angle. This is the upper six here, seated here. And we can move distally, medially, buccally, or upward, downward, but have to be seated at a certain place and in a whole skull, whole body. So I tried to use the fine element study and has a maxilla and upper first molar and the membrane and the maxilla, and I put the upper molar a little bit here, and here. Sorry, cut up the little bit. This I see it here is that just underneath of the maxilla. So the fine element study says I put the first molar is the key. The red line shows the key reach, and seated upper molar is way forward from the key reach. This is almost the posterior root should be seated on underneath of the key reach, and this is the mesial root should be seated to the underneath of key ridge. And D shows the way of the distally from the key ridge. So this shows the number C is shows more harmonial or phase. That means that from the fine element study says that the gravity, if we see the upper molar right here, as we can control the gravity. So this is the recent research from done by Dr. Ono. He's a professor of Tokyo Medical Center University, and he got one of the research from the functional MRI. That I don't familiar with the research, but he said this is the chewing side preference, one differential follicular activation, functional resonance imaging study. This is that stands for MRI. And try to forward right side and left side, the tongue forward right side, left side. So this is the SM1 area. This is they call SM1. This is the brain part of SM1. There's and this is the PCS. And the right side, if the patient push the tongue on the right side, and the left side is the SM1 is moving. So the good thing is that after they stop moving the tongue, still 20 minutes after they stop moving the tongue, still remaining the memory of into the SM1. So that means we can send our message from a peripheral area, like to the central nervous system. So this is the same thing. So this is just figure out our dentistry. Here, and effective subsystems in the teeth, jaw, TMJ muscles, etc. And this is the sensor input subsystem, proprioceptor, muscle, spine, periodontal ligament. And this is the CNS, the brain central nervous system. So for example, mastication has to be circle connected, like circle. How do we regular dental treatment work in the mastication system? So mainly, we have many tools for dentistry, restorative dentistry, periodontal treatment, orthodontics, implant, orthodontics, aesthetic dentistry. But these are all going to the ineffective subsystems. That means even if we could make a very fine crown or very smart good shape or arch form, that's our per model. It doesn't work, it doesn't move, it doesn't function. That's a model, you know. So we have to get some more tools from to move the central nervous system. So this is one of the tools. We can send our signal to the central nervous system. That's proprioceptive neuromuscular facilitation. So this is one of the procedure of PNF, usually doing for the whole body. And this is sometimes we see, inclined leg line. This PNF one time sees posterior depression, then align the hip fold or heart. So then I asked the person who are doing the PNF, I'm going to apply this technique to this area. But they never think about, he never think about apply the PNF to this area, because after the stroke, the first thing have to be move legs and arms. So he said he never think about apply the PNF to this area. So I started to use the PNF to the jaw and the head and neck area. So this is the head and neck and the area. And start position, head is, this is the jaw opening with the neck extension. So this area, we can do it. This is our side shift, and this is facial or muscles. And this is only a clinical, first clinical or applied clinical cases apply the PNF. After the number 7 facial muscle or didn't move. So she wanted to. She's very careful for the this area. So different from the upper this point, the lower this point, and so procedures of the PNF, muscles resolute or muscles resistant to the corner of the mouth medially, and here to here, and then align the same place, same line. And this is the levator labii superioris. We have a lot of cases in orthodontics, these kind of cases. So apply to this one. Easy to get in a good condition. This is a procedure of muscle levator angulioris and angulioris both. So push or down or like here, and easy to get through the good condition. So this is the T2 after lower orthodontics and PNF, facial and head and neck area. So I think it's much better than that. Then this is the growing child, and have a curvy plate. Then we put and also always tilting the head this way. So we put this is a biotemplate, template, records biotemplate. So about 4 months or 6 months at least to clean off the ingrown. Then easy to move the teeth. Well, almost the half length of the regular orthodontics. And this is before this after. It took 3 years, but normal, man brackets period is about almost a half. This is 3 years later. This is the before treatment, and has a little shifting in the head and neck. And you can see the big space here, the small space here, and the curvy head, and shifting midline shifted up to lower. Then using the biotemplate as a not only for neck and face area, also shoulder area too. So this is the, I think the PNF is the most, one of the most effective tools to create the central nervous system. So this is before, after education, 7 years. So this is the center, upper sizes, it's the lower sizes, but already straight. T1, T2, and the retention. And regular, MKG, EMG, of course, is good. So this is another case, 9 months, and a little bit off. Only place, shifted this to the crossbite on the left side of the molar, and put the biotemplate. Then straighten the teeth, and you look at this from here to here. And retention 1 year, retention 1 year, retention 3 years. Sorry, this is a different. And sometimes we see this kind of kid, like running, and they have a big crabbing. This is after the treatment, straightening the body. Before and after. This is before and after. Cervical vertebra should be in the body here like that, and the our head should be tilting more backward. So the gravity. What we are standing 2 foot, so better to recover to the normal position. Talking about cervical vertebra, usually we don't trace only this way, this part, but I think it's better to trace as much as we can cervical vertebra. So this is a very short explanation, but does anyone have a TMJ problem or head, neck, and stiffness, or here I can show you more, how to use it.
I have a question.
Yes, please.
Do you treatment and also during the treatment.
Before,
Before.
yeah, if I found, something better to clean up our aircraft before going into the long dentist too. Dentist, normal dentistry too. Yes?
Needling myography shows that engrams modify in 10 to 14 days. Is there a reason you go 6 months? I mean, or you're introducing new adjustments along the way?
Yeah, that's a very nice question. But, usually, normal patient has been different positions so many years, so many times. So it takes more time to rearrangement of that. Not engram or to the muscles for the motor neuron. I think it's better to. It's easy to find out that when you use template first 1 or 2 months. It's easy to scratch, or please cut off the scratch and then smooth it. Then put it on, and then 3 months, just a bit, and then maybe 5 or 6 months. It's already a part of the body, a part of the brain. But I think you were right. It depends on the person. I think it's mine so short. Please, if you have any, I can demonstration sometime.
I've run into about 3 cases
Yes.
where a patient had for many years been going along fine, and they had a dental procedure, and it appeared to me that they may have been in an acquired position of the jaw, and then they lost their ingram or their ability to know where to bite, and they went into a big open bite. Have you run into that?
You mean recently?
Well,
How many years is a good condition?
over 20 years. I've only seen 3 cases where a dentist did some minor procedure on a second molar, and suddenly we have this major open bite, and they cannot find and cannot get back to where they were, and I can see all the wear for sets. I know they used to be there, and they cannot get back.
Yeah, could be. So that even one small dental or amalgam or other treatment
Right.
should be triggered of the muscles. That means a trigger muscles are trigger to the brain. So better to not cut off the dental or amalgam or other inlay or something like that before that, going into the dental or I think before you remake the new inlay. So I think it's better before you going into the new or biotemplate one time to clean up the paper. Very interesting. I have 2 same cases.
They're very
Some
unusual.
Stress. Not only, of course, dental or procedure might be a trigger, or sometimes, or more mental stress gonna be a trigger. So one of my very interesting why Ricketts didn't say template, why he called biotemplate. So usually template, making a template, our dentist, would you please bite anything, wax anything, bite. When I said instructed to bite to the patient, as the closing muscle gets fired. So he said, however, maybe you know that he said Boston.
Yeah.
Okay? And the Boston, when you said Boston, I think nobody in the fight of ICP say you're Boston, not ICP. The relaxation is Boston. So for each language it's different, I think. So I tried to do Japanese. Someone said, they say Boston, so one patient said Boston. So, the cringing, So Boston is, or Greek or other Portuguese or something like that. You have to be find out a new word.
Actually, that's been replaced by the word Emma. In English, there's a name, Emma, E-M-M-A. There's no tooth contact. When you do that, there's no neutral position. Boston, you say Emma, you touch your teeth. Emma, read that, it's very down the line. There should be no tooth contact. So the word Emma is the word there's no tooth contact.
And at that time, we just used the quick process. It took us so long. Yeah. Right now, is that any question? I think this is very useful.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We're going to take a 15-minute break.